Part 210. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2091. Chapter 2091. We are about to become a family. Why are you kid talking? Mrs. Gong was anxious and angry. No matter what it is someone else's intention. Intention is the most rare thing. Even if Aunt Chen and Rura came empty-handed, Mom would be happy too. It's okay, Mrs. Shen's face recovered and she smoothed things over with a smile. Zi Li is right, these are indeed common things. It's just that families like ours have eaten all the good ones. These are the better ones. These are good for daily consumption. Actually, the bird's nest is the second best. This ginseng is a really rare good thing. It has been growing for several years and is very nourishing. We only have 2 at home. I heard that Sister Gong was not feeling well, so I brought one over. Just as Mrs. Gong was about to say thank you, Gong Zili said one step ahead of her, since ginseng is a rare and good thing, why don't you bring 2 of them together? My mother is taking care of her health recently. Where can one of such a nourishing thing be enough? Zili, Mrs. Gong was almost furious to death. Mrs. Shen is not much better. No matter how calm she was, she couldn't stand being insulted one after another by a junior like Gong Zili. Especially, Miyazawa is deliberately targeting this. But when she thought of the purpose of coming to Gong's house today, even though Mrs. Shen felt very unhappy, she still suppressed her anger. It's okay, she didn't know how angry she was in her heart, but she looked magnanimous and tolerant on her face. Zi Li is right, I didn't think carefully. When I get back, I will have another ginseng stick. Send it over to Sister Shen, please ignore him, Mrs. Gong said with an embarrassed look. I'm very happy that Sister Shen can come and see me. Nothing else is important. Zili, you haven't said hello to your Aunt Chen and Rura yet. Mrs. Gong was also very angry, but she thought of something and held back her temper. She finally called Gong Zili back. Miyazawa walked over slowly. With a careless expression on his face, he glanced at Shenro, who was sitting next to Mrs. Shen, and twitched his thin lips slightly. Didn't we just say hello? Our Gong family and Shen family didn't just know each other. It's necessary to be so outspoken. Mrs. Gong's face turned green. Zili, you. It's okay, Mrs. Shen said with a smile. Zi Li is right, our 2 families are not outsiders anymore, there is no need to be so outsider. Besides, we will become a family in a short time, why should the family be so polite? Gong Zili had a careless smile on his lips. When he heard this, his smile suddenly solidified. His eyes suddenly became sharp and his eyes narrowed little by little. What does Aunt Chen mean by this? Just as Mrs. Shen was about to speak, Mrs. Gong walked up to Gong Zili. She pulled Gong Zili's arm. Zili, sit down and talk. Gong Zili did not move. He turned his head and said expressionlessly, Mom, what did Aunt Chen mean by what she just said? Our Gong family and Shen family will soon become a family. Zili, you're Aunt Chen. Mom, you just need to tell me what it means that the Gong family and the Shen family will soon become one family. Gong Zili's words were coercive, and his attitude was somewhat aggressive. A period of time. Mrs. Gong was speechless. This. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2092. Chapter 2092. I have no plans to get married now. Let me tell you, at this time, Shenro, who had been silent, stood up. She looked at Gong Zili and said calmly, Zili, my mother and Aunt Gong mean that our 2 families will get married. This is also what the other elders of the 2 families want. My aunt and my mother have asked me for my opinion. I think I can accept this proposal. If you don't object, then we can get married as soon as possible. When Shenro finished speaking, Mrs. Gong looked at Gong Zili nervously. Marriage, Gong Zili narrowed his eyes, and there was a hint of coldness in his deep voice. Yes, marriage. Shenro smiled and said softly, based on the current situation of the Gong family and the Shen family, I think it is good for the two families to marry. This is something that is very beneficial to both of us. And we grew up together and know each other very well. I think we are suitable for each other. Yes, yes, Mrs. Gong immediately answered, Zi Li, you and Rura grew up together, and you like Rura so much. Haven't you always wanted to marry Rura? Now if the two families get married, you can also marry Rura. Isn't this the best of both worlds? Your Aunt Shen and I have checked the time. If you don't have any objections, the wedding can be scheduled for next month. In terms of time, it is a bit hasty, but our Gong family will definitely not wrong Rura and rush it again. I will also give her a grand wedding. Yes, there is a very good time next month. We have checked with a Feng Shui master and found that the time next month is the best this year. Gong Zili listened to them talking to each other one by one, as if the marriage had been decided. He couldn't help but laughed angrily. Who said I have no objection? You have already asked me. Mrs. Gong and Mrs. Shen were talking happily about the wedding next month, but their expressions changed after hearing this. The two of them turned their heads to look at Gong Zili at the same time. Shenro's expression also changed slightly, but she still kept a decent smile on her face and looked at Gong Zili with a smile. Zili, aren't you willing? The expression on Mrs. Gong's face looked a little surprised. Because she knew that Gong Zili had liked Shenro for many years. She was also willing to marry the Gong family and the Shen family before. But at that time, it was her son who kept chasing other people's daughters, but the other people's daughters were unwilling. Later, the Shen family fell into decline, and the palace lady naturally looked down on Shenro, so she came up with the idea of marrying with the Shangguan family. But Gong Zili was not interested in Shangguan Sheng. Even if the palace lady has the idea of marriage, she cannot force her son to get married. Not to mention, the thing she did with Shangguan Sheng before was found out by Mo Yesi. The Shangguan family is also in bad luck now, and is no longer the best marriage partner in the palace lady's mind. On the contrary, the Shen family, which had resurrected from the edge of bankruptcy, is getting better day by day. In the heart of the palace lady, the Shen family has become the best marriage partner again. Mrs. Gong originally thought that this marriage was a sure thing. Gong Zili will definitely not object. So, she and the palace lady set a time for their marriage. But now, seeing Gong Zili's reaction, Mrs. Gong felt anxious. Well, I don't want to. Under the gaze of three pairs of eyes, Gong Zili said without hesitation, I have no plans to get married now. Aunt Shen, you'd better go to other families and ask who has plans to get married. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2093. Chapter 2093. Her daughter was rejected. I won't join in the fun. Mrs. Shen's expression suddenly changed. Mrs. Gong's expression also changed. Zili. I'm tired. I'll go upstairs and rest for a while. You don't have to call me for dinner in the evening. Gong Zili ignored anyone. After finishing speaking, he turned around and left. The palace lady was extremely angry. Mrs. Shen's face is also too good to be seen. After all, it was her daughter who was rejected. Originally, in Mrs. Shen's opinion, her daughter's conditions were so outstanding that no one could easily match her. When the Shen family was in trouble, she forced Shenro to go on a blind date. At that time, Shenro would be picked on and rejected because of the Shen family. But now, the Shen family has gotten better, and the marriage was also initiated by the Gong family. Mrs. Shen never expected that Gong Zili would refuse. Moreover, he refused face to face. Coupled with his previous deliberately targeted words, it can be said that he doesn't take the Shen family's mother and daughter seriously. Mrs. Shen has been restraining her emotions, but at this moment, she can no longer restrain herself. She felt that the Shen family had just escaped from danger. Under such circumstances, if she could marry the Gong family, it would be very beneficial to stabilize the current situation of the Shen family. What's more, it seems that both the Shen family and the Gong family have enmity with the Mo family. If the two families get married, they can fight against the Mahist family together in the future. Under such circumstances, marriage is bound to be very beneficial to both families. But now, having been humiliated like this by Gong Zili, even if Mrs. Shen had the idea of marriage, it would be impossible for her and her daughter to remain cold-hearted and hot-butt. Given the current situation of the Shen family, it will not be difficult for Shenro to find a well-matched husband. Although marriage with the Gong family is the best choice. But it is not necessary to marry into the Gong family. Thinking of this, Mrs. Shen's face darkened, and she stopped trying to save face and said directly, "Since Zili is so reluctant and has no plans to get married now, let's forget about the marriage. I originally thought that he and Rura grew up together. He said before that he liked our Rura and that Rura would be very happy when she married him. It seems that we old people still don't understand the minds of young people. But since he doesn't want to, we parents can't force him." Mrs. Gong's face showed an anxious look. "Sister Shen. Mrs. Gong, I think it's already late now. Rura and I won't disturb your rest. I'll come to see you when the sky changes," Mrs. Shen said to Shenro with a cold face. "Rura, let's go." Mrs. Shen today is not in that time when the Shen family was in urgent need of help. She wished that Shenro could get married immediately. The Shen family is fine now. It will get better and better in the future. Her daughter is outstanding and she cannot find any kind of son-in-law. Even if his family background is slightly inferior to that of the Gong family, he is at least a normal person. At least she doesn't have to worry about hurting her daughter when she gets sick. She didn't even think that there was anything wrong with this guy from the Gong family, but she actually disliked her precious daughter. "Sister Shen, I'm so sorry." Mrs. Gong thought of what her son had just done and had to say with a smile, "Zili was really rude today. He was not like this before. Maybe it was because of the encounter outside today. Something happened, so that's why." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2094. Chapter 2094. Is it because you already have someone in your heart? I feel really sorry for making Sister Shen unhappy. I will give him a good lesson in a while. Mrs. Shen smiled, but her face was cold. Mrs. Gong's words are serious. After she finished speaking, she turned around and left. "Mom, wait a minute." Shenro stretched out her hand to pull Mrs. Shen. She raised her head and looked upstairs, clenched her fists to suppress her emotions and said, "I have something I want to talk to Zeli." Mrs. Shen was stunned. "What else do you have to say to him? Isn't what he just said clear enough?" Mrs. Shen looked at her daughter, a little angry. "People have already said that they are not willing to marry with our Shen family. Why don't you still? Are you rushing to be humiliated by him again?" Mrs. Gong stood aside with an embarrassed look on her face. I wanted to explain, but seeing Mrs. Shen's angry look, I thought about it and gave it up. The expression on Shenro's face also froze, with a hint of anger in her eyes, and she bit her lips to hold back her anger. She took a deep breath and said, "Mom, I know how to deal with my own affairs. Just wait for me." After saying that, she turned around and went upstairs to find Gong Zili. Asterisk. "What are you doing here?" Gong Zili looked at Shenro, who entered his bedroom without knocking on the door, his expression not very good. Zi Li, I want to talk to you. Shenro had a calm expression on her face. She walked up to him and stopped. I don't think we have anything to talk about, Gong Zili said indifferently. Now please go out immediately. I did not allow you to enter my room. Miss Shen, a well-known lady, does she even have to knock on the door before entering other people's rooms? Do not know at all. Shenro's expression froze. She bit her lip. Zi Li, I want to talk to you about the marriage. I think you can think about it again. With the current situation, if the Shen family and the Gong family can get married, it will be beneficial to both of us. Benefits. You also know very well that with our backgrounds, we will eventually get married in the future. Since we cannot avoid marriage, instead of marrying someone we don't know, wouldn't it be better to be with someone we grew up with and know each other well? What's more, in terms of family background, the Shen family and the Gong family are the best match. Recently, our Shen family has just started a new project. If our two families get married and complete this project together, I guarantee that it will be absolutely perfect. It will make a lot of money for both of us. Zi Li, you can really think about it again. Even if you don't like me, just do it in the interests of businessmen. The marriage is only for outsiders to see. We can still live separately after marriage. Live their own lives without anyone interfering with anyone else. As Shenro spoke, her tone lowered and her attitude became humble. Zi Li, I only need the identity of a palace wife. But even so, Gong Zili still rejected her without hesitation. His soft eyes narrowed, his eyes were cold, and the expression on his face did not change at all. I can't give you this identity. You can find someone else. Shenro's breath tightened, and her face turned pale after being rejected so directly by him. She clenched her fists and trembled. Her Lii secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2095. Chapter 2095. This has nothing to do with you. Gong Zili, did you reject me because of her? Do you really fall in love with your savior? Gong Zili looked at her and his tone became even colder. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with me. Shenro gritted her teeth and repeated his words, with uncontrollable jealousy in her eyes. Is that woman so good? Who is she? Tell me, do you like her? Gong Zili, answer my question. If you answer it, I will leave immediately. Are you falling in love with your savior? Gong Zili's face turned cold. I told you, this has nothing to do with you. I just ask you to answer my question. Is it so difficult? Shenro looked at him stubbornly. Are you afraid to admit that you like someone? Or is it that the person you like is not that good? So you don't want to admit it? Let me guess, she is actually a very ordinary girl, right? You will fall in love with her just because she saved you. Just like you said you liked me at the beginning because you thought I saved you. Gong Zili, is this what you like about a person? Whoever saved you or who was kind to you, do you like? Shenro said with mockery in her eyes, do you like it? Can you distinguish between liking and gratitude? Have you ever really liked it? Are you alone? Gong Zili's face became gloomier inch by inch. Go out. Shenro was stunned for a moment and stood still. Gong Zili reached out and grabbed her arm, took her out of the door roughly, and pushed her out of the bedroom with a cold face. With a snap sound, the door was closed. Outside the door, Shenro was so angry that she was shaking all over and her face was livid. When she said those words just now, Gong Zili did not object. So, did he really fall in love with the woman who saved him? Who is that woman? Shenro is a person with a very strong self-esteem. She has enjoyed the care and love of Gong Zili for so many years, and has been a proud princess for so many years, but later she discovered that everything she enjoyed was obtained by relying on others. Gong Zili said he liked her and was good to her just because he thought she saved her, rather than fall for her charm. This made her, who had a strong sense of self-esteem, unable to accept it. She wanted to know who the woman who saved Gong Zili was. She wanted to know what the woman who made Gong Zili change his heart so quickly looked like. How can he still look like a fairy? Shenro is quite confident about her family background and appearance. She didn't think that the woman who really saved Gong Zili could be better than her. Asterisk. I didn't expect Gong Zili to be so ignorant. I didn't even dislike him for being sick, but he actually disliked my daughter. Leaving the Gong family, in the car, Mrs. Shen was still angry about Gong Zili's rejection of the marriage. He doesn't even look at his own conditions. With his habit of scaring people to death, how many people in his circle would dare to marry their daughters to him? He rejected you and will try to find someone with the same conditions in the future. Pretty much, that's going to be difficult. I would like to see if his Gong family will find a fairy as their daughter-in-law in the future. Mrs. Shen complained to herself for a while, but didn't hear Shenro's answer. She couldn't help turning her head. Rura, what did you say to Gong Zili before? Don't be angry about this matter. With your conditions, you will definitely be able to find someone better than him in the future. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2096. Chapter 2096. She is the one who has the easiest life. To be honest, if you really marry him, Mom won't worry. Who knows when his problem will show up? Being with him is like taking a risk, and you have to be on tenterhooks. It's okay now, it's them. If the Gong family rejects it themselves, there is no need to consider them again in the future. Shenro remained silent and did not speak. Rura, are you still sad? Mrs. Shen looked at her and said, don't be sad. Mom will find you a young talent later, and I promise not to lose to him. No, I promise to be better than him. Mom, I'm not angry. Shenro was silent for a while, and finally said, I have nothing to be angry about. I thought about it. Now that Mr. Shen has just gotten better, I think we should focus on the company's new development on the project. Let's talk about the marriage later. I have no plans to get married now. The top priority is to start Shen's business first. When Shenro said this, she paused. In a few days, Dad will completely hand over the Shen family to me. By then, I will definitely be very busy and unable to take care of other things. In this handover, the company will also. Some elders are not optimistic about me, so I must make achievements to show them that I can make Mr. Shen better and better. In this way, people in the company will truly believe in me. Thinking of the job handover in a few days, Mrs. Shen sighed and said with distressed eyes, you are right, the top priority is to complete Shen's new project. Just Rura, don't be too tired, no matter what. In this way, the body is the most important. So what if those old guys don't like you? You are the heir to the Shen family. If your father's company is not passed on to you, why should it be passed on to them? However, I hope I can use my strength to prove it and make them truly convinced of me. Shenro said with ambition in her eyes, I will definitely let the Shen family return to its most glorious time. I will let the Shen family taking the place of the Mo family. From now on, the boss of Yunchinj will definitely be our Shen family. Listening to her ambitious words, Mrs. Shen remained silent. After all, Mrs. Shen is not that ambitious. She just hoped that Mr. Shen would not experience the same danger again. Beyond Mo's family, it's easy to say, but harder to do than reach the sky. However, her daughter had such an ambition. Even though she felt it was impossible to realize it, she did not say anything to combat it. Hey, I don't know how your sister is doing. Mrs. Shen looked at the high-spirited and ambitious eldest daughter beside her, and couldn't help but think of her younger daughter. Although Shen Xin always reported good news but not bad news every time she called back, Mrs. Shen was still a little worried. What can happen to her, Shen Rose said in a calm tone when talking about her sister, she is not a child anymore and is going to college soon. If something happened to the Shen family, she has not shouldered anything. I think she is the one who has the easiest time. Mrs. Shen heard the dissatisfaction in Shen Rose's tone and moved her lips to speak, but in the end she said nothing. At the end, he sighed softly. During the time when the Shen family was in trouble, Shen Ro indeed suffered a lot of grievances. Fortunately, everything is getting better now. Mrs. Shen doesn't want much now. In addition to Shen's stability, she now only hopes that Shen Xian can get into a good university. Shen Xian has never let her worry about her studies. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2097. Chapter 2097, not to mention how enthusiastic the attitude is. But thinking about the college entrance examination in 2 days, Mrs. Shen is still a little worried. Asterisk. Chiao Mian was extremely busy in the next 2 days. Recording songs, Chiao's father's birthday, Chiao Chen's college entrance examination, several things happened together. Fortunately, her recording went smoothly. It only took 1 day to record both songs for the new drama. She did not need to come forward to modify some details in the later stage. It's Father Chiao's birthday. After Chiao Mian made an agreement with Chiao Chen, she followed Mo Yesi to Chiao Chen's school and picked him up to go to Chiao's house. The day after Chiao's father's birthday is the college entrance examination. Chiao Chen has had excellent academic performance since he was a child. Chiao Mian has never worried about anything in his studies. Chiao Chen himself is also very confident about this college entrance examination. But even so, Chiao Mian is still a little worried when thinking about the college entrance examination tomorrow. She asked Chiao Chen, Chen, are you ready? How sure are you of tomorrow's exam? Have you decided which school to apply for? Chiao Chen smiled and nodded, yes, everything is ready. As for the school I applied for, I think T University is very good. T University, Chiao Mian's face showed a surprised expression, you have always wanted to go to F University. Why do you want to go to T University now? F University is Chiao Chen's ideal university. He told Chiao Mian more than once that he wanted to go to University F in the future. So when she heard him say that he wanted to apply for T University, Chiao Mian was surprised. Well, I wanted to apply for University F before, but now I think University T is more suitable for me for financial management majors, University T is better. After listening to Chiao Chen's explanation, Chiao Mian didn't think about anything else. T University and F University are both very good key universities. No matter which school Chiao Chen goes to, it is a good choice. Well, you should consider these things yourself. Chiao Mian nodded and said, although I am very confident in you and you are very sure of yourself, no matter how sure you are, you cannot take it lightly. You must be careful about this exam. Handle it seriously. Sister, don't worry, I will do it. Chiao Mian thought for a while and then said, I'm relatively free tomorrow, so I'll accompany you to the examination room. Chiao Mian still attaches great importance to her younger brother's college entrance examination. Others are accompanied by their parents. She is the only sister here in Chiao Chen. Although he is now recognized by the Mahist family, he still has some connections with the Mahist people. Okay, the young man's clear eyes curved, with a bright smile, with my sister accompanying me, I will definitely be able to perform very well. Asterisk. A moment later, we arrived at Chiao's house. What surprised Chiao Mian was that after they got off the car, they saw Lin Huijin waiting outside. As soon as she saw them, Lin Huijin walked towards them with a smile on her face, not to mention her enthusiasm. Mian, Chen, You are back. Lin Huijin had trouble with Jiao Mian before, but she didn't feel embarrassed now. Even though Jiao Mian didn't have a smile for her, she still smiled. He said in a friendly tone, "Your father, me, and Angzhen have been waiting at home." "Yes, Yesi is here too. It's rare that you can find time to come over when you are so busy. You are really thoughtful." Lin Huijin was both happy and afraid when she saw Mo Yesi. She didn't know Mo Yesi's identity before. Now that I know it, my attitude is naturally different. The man standing in front of her is the president of the Mo family, the second young master with an extremely distinguished status in the Mo family. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2098. Chapter 2098. Why is your fate so good? In the past, Lin Huijin thought that Suzy had a good family background, and thought that it would be very honorable for Jiao Angzhen to find her a son-in-law like Suzy. But compared with the Mo family, the Su family is nothing. Say something unpleasant. In terms of family background, the Su family is not even qualified to carry shoes for the Mo family. No matter how unhappy Lin Huijin is that Jiao Mian is now better than her daughter in everything, she still has to accept the reality. She is still very aware of current affairs. Especially, she still asks Jiao Mian for help today. So her attitude is also very good. However, not everyone bought her flattering words. As soon as Lin Huijin finished speaking, she felt a cold gaze falling on her head. When she looked up, she saw Mo Yesi looking at her expressionlessly. Before Mo Yesi said a word, Lin Huijin felt a sense of fear in her heart, and she became inexplicably scared. Mo Yesi is nominally her son-in-law. But Lin Huijin did not dare to truly treat him as a son-in-law. "Well, Mian, your dad is still waiting for you. Hurry up and go in." Lin Huijin was so oppressive in Mo Yesi's eyes that she didn't even dare to look at him, and turned to Jiao in a panic. Mian, asked Father Jiao to change the subject. Jiao Mian ignored Lin Huijin and didn't say hello to her. She just turned to Jiao Chen and Mo Yesi and said, "Let's go in." The second floor of the villa. The well-dressed Jiao Angzhen stood by the window. When she saw the slender figure that haunted her coming out of the black Rolls-Royce, her heart beat uncontrollably. This man, Mo Yesi, is really a top-notch person. A rare quality among men. That kind of skin is rare among the wealthy young men in the upper-class circles. Even in the entertainment industry where there are so many beautiful men, you can't find anyone like him. Jiao Angzhen's eyes lingered wildly on Mo Yesi's handsome and heartwarming face. When he saw Jiao Mian standing next to him, he clenched his fists unwillingly and could not suppress the jealousy in his eyes. Living is revealed. How could Jiao Mian, a bitch, be so lucky? Even such a peerless man was obtained by her. Why should she? That man is Mo Yesi. Many women in the city have dreamed of their dream lover, Mo Yesi. How many women claimed that as long as Mo Yesi could spend one night with them, they would die with no regrets in their lives. And such a man that many people dream of, but can only daydream about, has now become Jiao Mian's man. He was actually owned by a little like Jiao Mian. Jiao Angzhen stood by the window and watched for a while. It wasn't until Jiao Mian and the others entered the villa that she walked away from the window. She walked to the mirror and looked at herself again. After making sure that her dress, makeup, and jewelry were all right, she walked out of the bedroom and walked downstairs. Asterisk. Jiao Mian walked into the hall and saw Jiao's father sitting in the hall waiting for them. I haven't seen him for a while. Father Jiao looks a little haggard. Seeing them, Jiao's father was obviously happy, but he still had a sullen face and said calmly, "You are back. Sit down first. Aunt Lin still has a few dishes to prepare, so it will take a while before the meal is served." "Dad, we are not hungry, we are not in a hurry." Jiao Mian handed the box in her hand to Jiao's father, Dad, this is the gift that Yessie and I picked for you. I hope you will like it. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2099. Chapter 2099. It's hard to pick one out of 10,000 miles. Just come back, why don't you buy any gifts? Father Chiao said this, but still took the gift, with a smile in his eyes. Dad, open it and see if you like it, Chiao Mian said again. Father Chiao glanced at her, reached out and opened the box. In the box, there is a watch. When he saw the gift in the box, Father Chiao had a look of surprise on his face. Father Chiao has also used a lot of good things and has done some research on watches. So he recognized the brand of the watch in his hand and also knew the price. He held the watch and looked at it for a few seconds, then put it back. Then he handed the box back to Chiao Mian. Take it back, why did you buy such an expensive gift? It's a waste of money. I told you to just come back, why don't you listen? The watch in the box is known to Father Chiao. Is a watch worth 8 figures? Father Chiao had never bought such an expensive watch before when he still had money. Dad, this is a gift bought for you, how can we take it back as long as you like it? It's not a waste of money. Chiao Mian was not willing to accept it. Actually, this gift was prepared by Mo Yessi. Chiao Mian didn't put much thought into choosing gifts. She never asked Mo Yessi how much the watch he bought cost. But judging from Father Chiao's reaction, it must be very expensive. Yes, Sir Lin Huijan's eyes lit up when she saw the watch in Father Chiao's hand. She hurriedly walked over, pressed Father Chiao's hand and said, "This is the sentiment of your daughter and son-in-law. Just take it. Besides, with Mian's conditions, they can't afford any expensive gifts. It's a good thing that they have this filial piety, so stop pushing them around." After Lin Huijan finished speaking, regardless of what Father Chiao thought, she took the box into her hand. "I'll take it upstairs and put it away for you. Don't lose such an expensive gift in a while." After she finished speaking, she took the box and walked upstairs. Father Chiao frowned but did not stop her. He turned around, still looking at Chiao Mian with disapproval, and said, "In the future, you are not allowed to buy such expensive things again. I know you have the money now, but you still keep your money for your own use. Where can I need to wear such an expensive watch?" "Dad, Yessi prepared the gift. I just told him roughly what you like more, and he decided what to buy in the end." Chiao Mian put her arm around Mo Yessi and said with a smile, "He also paid for it." "Yes, I didn't spend a penny." Father Chiao was startled and turned to Mo Yessi. This was the first time that he looked at his son-in-law so seriously and carefully. There is no doubt that Mo Yessi's conditions are excellent in all aspects. It's hard to pick out a good one from thousands of miles away. So, Father Chiao couldn't see anything wrong with him. Furthermore, he could also see that Chiao Mian's life was getting better and better since she followed Mo Yessi. Whether it is mental outlook or clothing, it is completely different from before. Today's Chiao Mian really looks like a pampered young lady. There is a sense of nobility all over his body. Whether this person is living well or not can be seen at a glance. Now Chiao Mian is living a very happy life. Mo Yessi also dotes on her very much. Father Chiao stared at Mo Yessi for a while, and after a while, he said, "Yes, you took the trouble. There is one more chapter to be updated during the day." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2100. Chapter 2100. But it's still different. This son-in-law is impeccably good. The only bad thing is probably that it looks cold and inaccessible. Even though the man in front of him was his son-in-law, Father Jiao was actually a little afraid. In front of Mo Yesi, he couldn't put on any airs of father-in-law. Father-in-law is so polite. This is what you should do. Mo Yesi would not give face to Lin Huijin, but he still wanted to give face to Father Jiao. Even though he didn't really like Father Jiao, he still called him father-in-law politely. Dad, this is my wish. Jiao Chen took out the gift he had prepared for Jiao's father. Hearing his voice, Jiao's father seemed to realize that Jiao Chen was back. When his eyes fell on Jiao Chen, there was obvious surprise in his eyes. Father Jiao couldn't quite remember the last time he saw Jiao Chen. But he remembered that Jiao Chen at that time was definitely different from now. The young man in front of him still looks not very good, his face has the usual sickly paleness, and he is still thin and thin. But it's still different. There is a clear difference between him now and him before. Even though he still looks a little sick, his eyes and the energy in his body are different. And the way he is dressed. Jiao Chen was wearing a very formal suit. Although the boy was thin, his height of more than 1.8 meters could still hold up the clothes on his body. This is the first time Father Jiao has seen Jiao Chen wearing such formal clothes. The expensive suit is worn on the handsome young man, which seems to make his temperament much more noble. The young man who originally looked weak and easy to bully now looks like a rich young master with high status. The suit Jiao Chen was wearing was very expensive, and he also wore a very expensive watch on his wrist. But Father Jiao didn't think much about these. He thought that either Jiao Mian bought it for Jiao Chen, or it was Mo Yesi. He also thought that the reason why Jiao Chen changed like this was because of Jiao Mian and Mo Yesi. Father Jiao didn't know that the little boy he brought back from the orphanage would turn out to be the young master of the Mo family. His adopted son and daughter both have very unusual and prominent family backgrounds. Father Jiao doesn't know yet that Jiao Chen is a descendant of the Mo family. Jiao Angzhen and Lin Huijin also don't know. Dad, this is a gift from Chen Chen. Please accept it quickly. Father Jiao stared at his adopted son in a daze for a while. It was not until he heard Jiao Mianmian's reminder that he came back to his senses and reached out to take the box handed over by Jiao Chen. He opened it and looked at it. Inside is a bank card. He was stunned for a moment and raised his head in surprise. Chen Chen, what is this? Jiao Chen smiled and said, Dad, this card contains some money I earned myself. I don't know what to buy you. Just buy whatever you like. The password is your birthday. The money you earn. Father Jiao took out his bank card and looked down, with a look of surprise on his face. Where do you earn the money? Aren't you still in school? Where do you have time to earn money, of? Jiao Chen didn't elaborate, he just said, I took some money from working in my spare time. The fact is that he earned money from signing a contract when he followed Mo Xingshu to the company for practice. The order was not big, but the money earned was quite a lot for Jiao Chen. This is also the most money he has earned since he was a child. The bank card he gave to Father Mo contains 7 digits. End of this chapter.